family is tonight facing the biggest rupture to the firm in decades.
A royal announcement that is sure to rock the United Kingdom and fans of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
What if the very institution Harry and Meghan fought so hard to leave has become the one thing they may need the most? For years, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex insisted they were building a completely new future, one free from palace rules, relentless media scrutiny, and the pressures of royal life. California was supposed to represent freedom, independence, and endless opportunity. Yet today, a growing number of royal commentators believe that vision hasn't unfolded quite the way many expected. Now, one of the monarchy's most outspoken biographers has made a bold prediction. TomBower believes the conversation is no longer just about family tensions or public image. In his view, financial realities, changing business opportunities, and the challenge of staying relevant may all be pushing Harry and Meghan toward a decision that once seemed almost impossible. Could Meghan Markle really return to Britain after years of keeping her distance? Would such a visit signal reconciliation, a business strategy, or something else entirely? Before we explore those questions, one thing deserves to be made absolutely clear. Many of the claims you'll hear in this video come from TomBower's personal analysis and other royal commentators. They are not confirmed by Meghan Markle, Prince Harry, or Buckingham Palace. As with many royal stories, separating verified facts from opinion is essential. Still, the debate has returned with surprising force, and whether you support the Sussexes or disagree with their choices, there's one undeniable reality. Years after leaving royal duties, almost every move they make still captures worldwide attention. So how did we get here? To understand why Britain is suddenly back in the conversation, we first need to revisit the decision that changed everything. Chapter 1. The decision that changed their lives. In January 2020, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle made one of the most dramatic announcements in modern royal history. They revealed that they would step back as senior working members of the royal family and begin building an independent life. The decision shocked millions. Supporters described it as a courageous move by a couple determined to protect their privacy and regain control over their future. Critics, however, believed they were abandoning centuries of royal tradition while still hoping to benefit from the status that came with their titles. For Harry, the decision was deeply personal. He repeatedly spoke about the intense media attention surrounding his family and the painful memories of losing his mother, Princess Diana. Meghan also described feeling overwhelmed by constant public scrutiny and argued that life inside the institution had become increasingly difficult. Together, they believed there had to be another way. Instead of remaining full-time working royals, they wanted financial independence, greater personal freedom, and the opportunity to build careers on their own terms. Soon after, the couple relocated to North America before eventually settling in Montecito, California, a community known for its privacy and celebrity residence. To many observers, it looked like the beginning of an exciting new chapter. Hollywood was only a short drive away. Major media companies were actively searching for exclusive content. Global brands were eager to partner with influential public figures. Harry and Meghan already possessed something most celebrities spend decades trying to build: instant worldwide recognition. Many analysts predicted they would become one of the most powerful celebrity couples on the planet. At the time, that prediction didn't seem unrealistic. Their interviews dominated headlines. Their public appearances attracted enormous audiences. Every announcement sparked worldwide discussion. It appeared as though almost every door in the entertainment industry had opened for them. But creating excitement around a major life decision is one thing. Maintaining that excitement year after year is something entirely different. And that's where the story begins to take a very different direction. Chapter 2. The Promise of California. When Harry and Meghan arrived in California, expectations couldn't have been much higher. This wasn't simply a royal couple moving overseas. Many people believed they were witnessing the birth of an entirely new kind of global brand, one built on entertainment, philanthropy, business, and media rather than traditional royal duties. Within a relatively short period, the couple announced several high-profile partnerships with major companies. Their production deals attracted enormous attention because audiences were curious to see what life after the monarchy would actually look like. Industry experts predicted documentaries, podcasts, books, television projects, and charitable initiatives would become the foundation of a long-term media empire. For a while, those predictions appeared to be coming true. Every project generated headlines. Every interview became international news. Every photograph circulated across newspapers, television channels, and social media platforms around the world. Curiosity alone seemed powerful enough to guarantee success, but curiosity doesn't last forever. Public attention is one of the most valuable and unpredictable currencies in modern entertainment. Today's biggest headline can easily become tomorrow's forgotten story. New celebrities emerge. Different controversies dominate the news. Audience interests constantly evolve. History has shown that even the world's biggest stars must continually reinvent themselves if they want to remain at the center of public conversation. That's why many media analysts believe the real challenge for Harry and Meghan didn't begin when they left Britain. It began after the excitement of leaving started to fade. As the months turned into years, the conversation gradually shifted. Instead of asking what they would do next, people began asking whether the ambitious plans announced in those early years had delivered the results many expected. Some projects received positive reactions, others divided audiences. Several business partnerships evolved differently than originally anticipated. That doesn't necessarily mean the couple failed. Far from it. Harry and Meghan remain among the most recognizable public figures in the world. Their interviews still generate headlines. Their appearances still attract cameras, and almost every statement they make continues to spark debate. But recognition alone isn't always enough to sustain a long-term commercial brand. Success in the entertainment industry depends on consistent projects, audience engagement, and the ability to remain culturally relevant long after the initial excitement disappears. According to several royal commentators, including TomBower, that may be where expectations and reality started moving in different directions. And if those commentators are correct, the next chapter of the Sussex story may have less to do with family disagreements and far more to do with the realities of business, reputation, and survival in an industry that rarely waits for anyone. Chapter 3. The reality behind the headlines. For a while, it seemed as if Harry and Meghan had found the perfect formula. They had worldwide recognition, millions of supporters, and access to some of the biggest companies in the entertainment industry. Their departure from royal life had created enormous curiosity, and curiosity quickly translated into business opportunities. Major streaming platforms wanted exclusive content. Publishers wanted books. Media outlets competed for interviews. Every public appearance became headline news. It looked as though the Sussexes were building an entirely new empire, one based not on royal duties, but on storytelling, media production, and their own personal brand. But creating opportunities is only the beginning. Sustaining them is an entirely different challenge. In the entertainment industry, success isn't measured by how much attention you receive when you announce a project. It's measured by what happens after that project is released. Does the audience return? Do companies renew their partnerships? Does the excitement continue, or does it slowly disappear? Those are the questions that eventually began surrounding Harry and Meghan's business ventures. One of the biggest partnerships was their deal with Netflix. Expectations were enormous. Industry analysts believed the couple would produce documentaries, scripted content, and inspiring stories capable of attracting global audiences. Their first documentary series generated significant attention, largely because viewers were eager to hear their version of events. Regardless of whether people supported or criticized them, millions tuned in simply to understand their perspective. That project proved one important point. Interest in Harry and Meghan remained incredibly strong. However, maintaining that momentum would require a steady stream of equally compelling content. Around the same time, another high-profile partnership placed the couple at the center of the rapidly growing podcast industry. The idea seemed promising. Podcasts offered an opportunity to speak directly to audiences without traditional media filters. For public figures hoping to build long-term influence, it appeared to be the perfect platform. Yet as time passed, questions began emerging about the future of some of these partnerships. Media reports suggested that not every project progressed as originally expected. Some collaborations concluded earlier than many had anticipated, while others remained surrounded by uncertainty. That's where royal biographer TomBower believes the story begins to change. According to Bower, the challenge facing Harry and Meghan isn't simply finding another project. He argues it's about maintaining the level of influence they enjoyed immediately after leaving the royal family. In his view, the enormous excitement surrounding their departure created opportunities that naturally became harder to repeat over time. Whether people agree with his assessment or not, it reflects a broader reality within the entertainment business. Public attention constantly moves forward. New personalities emerge. Fresh stories dominate headlines. Even globally famous celebrities must continually reinvent themselves to remain relevant. From Bower's perspective, Harry and Meghan are now facing exactly that challenge. Chapter 4. TomBower's Theory. TomBower has spent years writing about influential public figures, including members of the British royal family. His books and interviews have often sparked intense debate because many of his conclusions are controversial. Supporters argue that he raises uncomfortable questions worth discussing, while critics believe some of his claims rely too heavily on interpretation rather than confirmed evidence. This latest theory is no exception. Bower believes the Sussexes have reached a turning point. According to him, the conversation is no longer just about family relationships or media attention. He argues that practical concerns, particularly business opportunities and long-term financial sustainability, may now be playing a much larger role than many people realize. It's important to emphasize that these are Bower's personal opinions. Neither Prince Harry nor Meghan Markle has publicly confirmed his claims. Still, his comments have attracted widespread discussion because they offer a different explanation for why speculation about Britain has suddenly returned. In Bower's view, building an independent brand outside the royal family has proven more complicated than originally expected. He argues that worldwide recognition alone doesn't automatically guarantee long-term commercial success. A famous name can open doors, but staying successful requires consistent projects, strong audience engagement, and the ability to remain relevant in an increasingly competitive media landscape. According to Bower, that's exactly where the Sussexes may now be facing their greatest challenge. He believes many of the opportunities available immediately after their royal exit were driven by unprecedented public curiosity. But curiosity is temporary. Eventually, audiences expect new achievements rather than simply another chapter of the same story. Whether that interpretation is accurate remains open to debate. However, it naturally leads to another question. If maintaining an independent global brand has become more difficult than expected, could reconnecting with Britain offer opportunities that simply don't exist anywhere else? That's the possibility Bower continues to raise. Chapter 6. Reputation, public image, and the challenge ahead. For any public figure, reputation is one of the most valuable assets they possess. It influences everything from audience support to business opportunities. And in the case of Harry and Meghan, public opinion has remained deeply divided ever since they stepped away from royal life. To some people, they represent a couple who chose independence over tradition and refused to remain in a situation they believed was damaging to their family. To others, they turned their backs on an institution that had given them global recognition while continuing to benefit from the attention that came with their royal titles. That divide has never fully disappeared. Every interview, every documentary, every public appearance, and every new business venture has been interpreted through completely different lenses depending on who's watching. Some see courage, others see controversy. And that polarization makes it incredibly difficult to reshape a public image. TomBower believes this is another reason Britain has become relevant again. In his opinion, if Meghan were ever to return to the United Kingdom, the visit wouldn't simply be about travel. It would become one of the biggest royal stories of the year. Television networks would provide live coverage. Newspapers would analyze every photograph. Social media would debate every interaction. Supporters would search for signs of reconciliation. Critics would question the motives behind the visit. The attention would be immediate and almost impossible to ignore. Whether that attention would ultimately help or hurt their image is impossible to predict. Public opinion rarely changes overnight, especially after years of disagreement and intense media coverage. History has shown that rebuilding trust takes far more than a single appearance or carefully planned event. It requires consistency, time, and perhaps most importantly, actions that speak louder than headlines. That is why many royal observers believe any future visit would only mark the beginning of a much longer journey rather than the end of one. Chapter 7. Harry's Search for Reconciliation. While Meghan often remains the focus of public debate, many commentators believe Prince Harry's priorities may have gradually shifted in recent years. Since leaving royal duties, Harry has continued supporting charitable causes, mental health initiatives, and the Invictus Games. Those projects remain a central part of his public identity. At the same time, he has spoken openly about missing certain aspects of life in Britain and has expressed hope that relationships within his family might eventually improve. Exactly what reconciliation would look like remains uncertain. Would it involve private family meetings, a gradual rebuilding of trust, or simply finding a way to move forward without reopening old conflicts? No one outside the family knows the answer. Reports from various royal commentators suggest that communication between Harry and some senior members of the royal family has improved at times, while other reports continue to describe the relationship as distant. The truth is likely known only to those directly involved. TomBower, however, remains skeptical that repairing those relationships would be easy. He argues that years of public disagreements, interviews, and personal revelations have left deep scars. From his perspective, trust, once broken, is extremely difficult to rebuild. Even if Harry genuinely hopes for reconciliation, Bower believes that restoring close family relationships would require patience and significant effort from everyone involved. Other royal commentators, however, take a more optimistic view. They argue that families often find ways to reconnect over time, particularly when private conversations replace public disputes. Without direct confirmation from the royal family themselves, both interpretations remain speculative. But one thing seems certain. The story is no longer only about where Harry and Meghan live. It's also about whether the future holds any possibility of rebuilding bridges that many believed had been permanently destroyed. Chapter 8. Could Meghan really return? After years of headlines, interviews, documentaries, and endless speculation, one question still dominates the conversation. Could Meghan Markle genuinely return to Britain? The honest answer is, no one knows. There has been no official announcement suggesting that Meghan plans to relocate or permanently return to the United Kingdom. Much of the current discussion comes from royal commentators interpreting recent developments, rather than confirmed statements from the Sussexes themselves. TomBower believes that practical considerations, such as business opportunities, public visibility, and long-term commercial value, could eventually make Britain attractive once again. Others strongly disagree. Some believe that if Meghan ever visits Britain again, it would simply be for family events, charitable commitments, or occasions involving Prince Harry and their children. Those explanations are equally possible. What's undeniable is that the royal family remains one of the most closely watched institutions in the world. Any visit, no matter how brief, would generate enormous international interest, and that's exactly why so many theories continue to emerge. The fascination isn't only about Meghan. It's about what her decisions might represent. A fresh beginning? A strategic business move? A family reunion? Or simply another chapter in a story that has captivated global audiences for years? Until the Sussexes speak directly about their future plans, every answer remains speculative. Chapter 8. Could Meghan really return? After years of headlines, interviews, documentaries, and endless speculation, one question still dominates the conversation. Could Meghan Markle genuinely return to Britain? The honest answer is, no one knows. There has been no official announcement suggesting that Meghan plans to relocate or permanently return to the United Kingdom. Much of the current discussion comes from royal commentators interpreting recent developments, rather than confirmed statements from the Sussexes themselves. TomBower believes that practical considerations, such as business opportunities, public visibility, and long-term commercial value, could eventually make Britain attractive once again. Others strongly disagree. Some believe that if Meghan ever visits Britain again, it would simply be for family events, charitable commitments, or occasions involving Prince Harry and their children. Those explanations are equally possible. What's undeniable is that the royal family remains one of the most closely watched institutions in the world. Any visit, no matter how brief, would generate enormous international interest. And that's exactly why so many theories continue to emerge. The fascination isn't only about Meghan. It's about what her decisions might represent. A fresh beginning? A strategic business move? A family reunion? Or simply another chapter in a story that has captivated global audiences for years? Until the Sussexes speak directly about their future plans, every answer remains speculative. Perhaps the most interesting part of this story isn't whether Meghan returns to Britain. It's why the possibility alone creates such intense worldwide discussion. Years after stepping away from royal duties, Harry and Meghan continue to command extraordinary public attention. Few public figures can announce a project, attend an event, or simply be photographed without generating headlines across multiple continents. That level of interest explains why every theory spreads so quickly. TomBower has offered one interpretation, arguing that financial realities, business challenges, and the enduring value of the royal connection may eventually encourage a closer relationship with Britain. Other commentators disagree, suggesting that any future visit would likely be driven by family, charitable work, or personal reasons, rather than commercial strategy. At this stage, neither explanation has been confirmed, and that's an important distinction. In stories involving the royal family, speculation often travels faster than verified information. Separating opinion from fact remains essential. What is certain, however, is that Harry and Meghan's journey continues to evolve. Their decisions will continue to attract global attention. Their relationship with the monarchy will remain a subject of fascination, and every new development will undoubtedly spark another wave of debate. Whether the future brings reconciliation, continued distance, or an entirely unexpected direction is something only time can answer. For now, the world continues to watch and to wonder what the next chapter of the Sussex story will reveal. If you enjoyed this breakdown, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe TomBower's theory has merit? Or do you think there's another explanation behind the renewed speculation? We'd love to hear your perspective. And if you enjoy in-depth documentaries exploring the biggest royal stories, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next deep dive.